Hi everyone, in this video look at how to configure data loss prevention in a Microsoft environment to be able to generate real-time incident alerts of user actions that violate defined rules. In a previous video, we looked at how we could use a sensitive information type feature to detect and protect sensitive information like the details on the Ghana card. In this video, we'll take it a step further by using the already defined sensitive information type to implement data loss prevention policies. We would also look at how we can implement policy tips in emails. The policy tip is a useful feature because it prompts users beforehand that actions they are about to perform violate organizational policies. This is quite important because it rules out the possibility of users relying on the excuse that they are unaware that their actions would violate organizational policies. We would end this demonstration by performing actions that violate defined rules, and then we'll take a look at how information security administrators can review and respond to these security alerts in Purview. So let's get started. To access the data loss prevention solution, you'd navigate to purview.microsoft.com. You need to have the requisite Azure subscription as well as licensing, such as the Microsoft E5 license. So the first thing you do is to locate solutions at the top left corner, and then you scroll down till you find data loss prevention. In the data loss prevention window, you'd want to locate policies and you'd want to locate create policy. You would then have a pop-up with two options, whether to create your policy for enterprise applications and devices or for inline web traffic. In this case, we'll choose enterprise applications and devices. You then have an option to start with a template or create a custom policy. And in our case, we'll create a custom policy. So we'll scroll down and we'll choose custom, and then we'll choose custom policy, and then we'll click on next. So the first thing we'd need to do is to give the policy a name. So let's rename this and let's add a description. So let's say protect the sharing of Ghana card numbers by email, and let's click on next. So in our next window, we have the option to assign this policy to administrative units, and usually you'd create administrative units in Microsoft Entra ID. Administrative units would help you to apply policies to particular groups of people, but in this demonstration, we would apply it to the full directory. So we can leave it as default and click on next. So in this window, we can configure the locations in the Microsoft 365 environments that the policy will apply to. So these may include SharePoint, OneDrive, or Microsoft Exchange. And for specific configurations, you may need to configure a pay-as-you-go billing plan. So let's scroll down and choose the locations. So down here, you can see a number of locations already marked. We would unmark all of them and just choose Exchange. In our demonstration, we just want to test to see if this policy can apply to emails. So once you uncheck all the other options, you can scroll down and click on Next. On this window, we'll leave it as default and click on Next. On this window, we would need to configure advanced DLP rules. These rules will contain the conditions and actions that will trigger alerts. So let's click on Create Rule. So in here, we'll need to give the rule a name. So let's enter Ghana card outbound, and let's include a description. So the next thing we'd look at are the conditions. So we would have two main conditions. The first condition is it should contain the sensitive information type. That's the Ghana card, as we set in the previous video. So in here, we'll be able to choose that sensitive information type. The second condition that has to be met is that the sensitive information type should be shared from the Microsoft 365 environment to people outside the organization by email. So first, let's click on Add Condition, and let's choose Content Contains. So under the Content Contains drop-down menu, let's locate Add and let's choose Sensitive Information Types. So from the pop-up window, let's locate our sensitive information type, that's Ghana card. So let's check the box for Ghana card and let's choose Add. The other information you can set is the confidence level and the instance count. And in this demonstration, we'll leave it as high confidence, and 1 instance count should trigger an alert. Another configuration we can set is whether it should evaluate messages or attachments or a mix of both. In this demonstration, we'll leave it as a mix of both. So at this point, let's add a second condition. So from the list, let's choose content is shared from Microsoft 365. So we want this policy to trigger an alert when content is shared outside the organization. So from the drop-down menu, let's choose with people outside my organization. So now that we have our two conditions, let's scroll down to configure the actions that should be performed when these conditions are met. So let's choose add an action. So let's choose the first option, which is to restrict or encrypt the content in Microsoft 365 locations. So in the drop-down menu, we have the option to block everyone or just people outside the organization. In this demonstration, we'll just block people outside our organization. Further down, we have the option to configure a user notification to inform users and help educate them on the proper use of sensitive information. So we can toggle this on, and in here you can choose email notifications. And in this scenario, the user would receive an email immediately they try to send sensitive information outside the organization. We can also enable policy tips which will pop up whilst the user tries to perform those actions. And further down, we have the option to allow users to override the policy. In such an instance, the user would need to give a business justification as to why they would want to override the policy. You can also override the rule automatically if the report is judged to be a false positive. But for this demonstration, let's uncheck that for now. Further down, you can also configure the severity level of this alert, whether it's low, medium, or high. Let's say medium. And you can also toggle on or off whether an alert should be sent to the admin when a rule match occurs. You can also decide to configure that these alerts are sent to specific users. So once you're satisfied with all the configurations, you can click on Save. And now we can click on Next. And on this window, you can choose the policy mode, whether to run it in simulation mode or turn it on after 15 days if it's not edited. You can also decide to turn the policy on immediately or turn the policy off. The best practice would be to run the policy in simulation mode, particularly if you're working with a very large environment where you cannot afford for critical emails to be blocked due to false positives. But for this demonstration, we can afford to turn the policy on immediately. So let's choose the second option and let's click on Next. Once you're satisfied with the conditions on the review page, you can click on Submit. You should then get a notification that the policy has been created and you can click on Done. So your newly created policy should appear, and as you can see, the sync is currently in progress. Another thing you may choose to do is to reorder the policies based on priority. Priority assignment prevents policy conflicts and ensures the most restrictive or specific rules are always enforced first. So just like you would do for firewall rules, you'd want to put the most restrictive policies at high priority, followed by the less restrictive policies. So for an example, let's move the Ghana card policy behind the GDPR policy. So what we would need to do is to click the three dots and choose Move Up. So we've currently moved the app one step to priority 3. So let's move it up one more to priority 2. So let's click Actions and move up again. So at this point, we've moved the Ghana card DLP rule to priority 2, which is the third priority, starting from 0. So at this point, we can see that synchronization is still in progress and it can take up to 2 hours before synchronization is complete. It says that if your policy includes users or groups, it could take up to 24 hours to sync completely. But since we don't have a lot of users in our environment, let's test and see if the policy is already working. So you're currently in Outlook. Let's try to send an email outside the organization that contains details that match the format of the Ghana card. So the first thing we'll do is to enter a Ghana card number. This is not for a real person. This is only for demonstration, but it would follow the same format. So for this Ghana card number, let's enter GHA, followed by hyphen. Let's enter 9 digits, so 011022, that's 6. Let's do 234, and that's 9. And let's enter a hyphen, and let's enter the final digit. For supporting elements, let's enter a name. So let's say name, and let's say Joshua. And let's add a place of issue. So let's type place of issue, and let's say Accra. So let's give this email a subject. So let's say test data. And let's add a recipient. Remember, it should be outside the organization, so you can send it to either a Gmail account or a Yahoo account. So as you can see at the top, we have a policy tip already appearing. It says that your message conflicts with a policy in your organization. It further says that the following recipient is outside your organization. So let's see what will happen if we proceed to click the send button. So as you can see on your screen, the email was blocked. In this second scenario, let's try to send this spreadsheet file to a recipient outside the organization. This spreadsheet file contains dummy data including names, document numbers, place of issue, and personal IDs that match the Ghana card format. So in Outlook, let's choose Attach File and locate the spreadsheet on our system. So let's choose the test file and attach it to the email. So let's add a message. Let's just say PFA, please find attached. At this point, you can add a recipient. Remember, it should be outside the organization, either to a Google account, an Apple account, or any other. So at the top, we can see the policy tip notifying us that the recipient is outside our organization. But let's proceed to send this message and see the outcome. So we've just received an email telling us that our message wasn't delivered because it conflicts with a policy in our organization. And as you can see, the two main conditions are detailed here. So number one, it contains the following sensitive information. That's the Ghana card. And number two, the message is sent to people outside our organization. So this confirms that our data loss prevention policy has been correctly configured. Also, back in Microsoft Purview under alerts, you can see that a policy match has been found. So we currently have one alert which is medium and active. So let's click on it. So in alerts, we can see that it says that DLP policy match for email with subject test data. If we scroll further down, we see the number of events currently is just 1. And it says the policy match is the Ghana card outbound DLP email. And we can see the location, that's the Microsoft Exchange, meaning it's an email. So at this point, we can decide on the actions to respond to this incident. So this brings us to the end of this demonstration on data loss prevention. Please do well to like and comment if this video was useful to you. And please don't forget to subscribe to the channel to see similar videos in the future. Thank you for watching.